Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today we're going to be talking about the best growth sectors to invest in the year 2022. Now, that's the best sectors to invest in the year 2022. Now, this is in response to your emails and to your comments, your feedback. A lot of you had told me, okay, Pastor Reno, we want to know where to invest in. And it's a good question because if you see what's happening right now, take the inflation rate in the United States, it's about 8.3%. Now, 8.3% is pretty high. It's the highest it's ever been since the Reagan era. And so if you are going to be investing, you want to invest in a sector that's going to give you above 8.3% return on your investment. Because if it's not giving you above 8.3% return on your investment, you're actually losing money. Because what that means is that your money is not growing as fast as inflation. That means inflation is growing faster than your money. So you want an area, a sector that is giving returns that are higher than the rate of inflation. So your ROI, your return on investment, must be greater than the ROI, the rate of inflation. And so what are the sectors that we can invest in? Well, I'm going to give you 4 sectors. Maybe I might give you a 50 if I feel good. Now, the very first sector is airports. Airports and aviation. Airports and aviation. Now, anything regarding airports, like Heathrow is publicly traded, Gatwick is publicly traded. You got airports in the United States that are publicly traded. You got a ton of airports in Asia. Some of the world's biggest airports are in Asia, in Hong Kong. And they're publicly traded. You want to invest in those because the travel sector is actually right now the biggest growth sector, and in that sector, airports are actually the #1 growth sector. So we want to invest in that, And then, second to that, in the travel sector. So when I say the travel sector, I'm talking about travel agencies, insurance companies that are investing or that focus on the travel sector, like Atoll, for instance, And you got companies like TUI, TUI, you got something like, companies like that generally, they're growing. In fact, they're not growing, they are exploding. They're exploding. And then also, you've got hotels and resorts. Hotels and resorts. Now, obviously, if people are traveling, they're going to be wanting to stay in places. So hotels and resorts come in. You might want to, consider Airbnb, but for some reason, Airbnb is not growing as fast as other well-established chains in the travel sector. So hotels and resorts, they're growing. And then, you also want to consider, airplane manufacturing, it's actually exploding right now. So whether it's Embraer, whether it's Airbus, whether it's McDonald's, whatever it is, what you want to do, invest there. These are sectors that are growing, And for some reason, Embraer in Brazil is actually growing quite fast, I think it might be because their planes are less expensive. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's a guess, but you want to go there, And then the best non-travel sector industry that is growing is the automobile industry. Automobile industry. So I said I'm going to give you 4. I've given you 4. Now, a 5th one, cinemas and theaters. They are actually exploding. Now, each of these industries that I've given you, each of these sectors that I've given you, they're actually capable. They're actually giving you a compound annual growth rate of over 10% this year so far, and it's projected to continue to grow. So if you invest in them, you're looking at a CAGR of over 10%. Now, why is this happening? Maybe right now we cannot give you an analytical reason why it's happening because people are still, scientists, social economists are still compiling the data. So maybe we can only give you a teleological reason on why it's happening. Now, when we say teleological reasons, that means we are looking at the effects. We're not looking at the causes. So if you look at the teleological reasons, it might be that after maybe 2 years of being in lockdown, of COVID taking over the world, that people are tired and they just want to go out there. They just want to get out there. So whether it's travel, whether it's so they're going on vacation or they're going on a staycation, which is why they're going to cinemas and theaters, it might be. Because if traditionally, I've always told you guys, if you want to invest, you follow the S&P 500. But the S&P 500 is down 24% this year alone. And then today, it's down by about 3%. So, you obviously, with all of these things that have been happening, the inflation in the United States, the supply chain crisis, the February 24 invasion of Ukraine by Russia, these things have affected the market. So the S&P 500 is down 24%. If you're talking about the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's down 19%. The Nasdaq is even worse, 34%. Can you imagine that? 34%. The Nasdaq is down. So you cannot just invest in an index anymore. Right now, you got to do micro-targeting investments. Micro-targeting investment. That's the only way you're going to be making money now until the market becomes more predictable. You see, with crypto, I've told you, if you're going into crypto, what you want to do is you want to do day trading. Because if you want to hold crypto over a long term, you're most likely going to lose money because the market is too volatile to predict. So you can predict it in a 24-hour period, even in short 6-hour periods. But over time, it's going to be difficult for you to predict. And we've seen what Chairman Jerome Powell has said to the U.S. Senate Banking Commission, Committee, that an inflation is still possible this year. Sorry, not an inflation, a recession is still possible this year. Inflation is already high. And then you see that Gary Gensler, of the chairman of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, is saying that, look, you know what? I support the crypto bill because of all the crazy stuff that's happening. So you want to be a cautious investor, and these are the areas that you can invest your money and get a CAGR of over 10%. My name is Reno Omokri. If you've watched this and you have questions arising from this, put them in the comment section. My staff are very good at curating comments. You're going to bring them to me and I will respond, God willing, to each and every category. Now you got to remember, I do not have a WhatsApp forum, a Gmail email address, a Telegram channel. Scammers have seen that my videos tend to go viral very quickly, and so they've created a number of fake YouTube profiles. They approach people in the comment section of my videos. They tell you helpline, guideline, one-on-one mentoring, contact me for more profitable information, and then the latest, they name their channel pinned by Reno Omokri. So when they respond to you, you think I've pinned it. If you contact them, they're going to ask you to pay $1,000, and that's the last you're going to hear from them. My name is Reno Omokri, saying God bless you.
But Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is